What's up guys, Jay here from Stash Garage. So today we have to get the car ready to have the engine removed. So we need to take off the bumper, drain the fluids. I want to take off a lot of the piping. I just want it to be as easy as possible so I don't run into any headaches that delay it any further. I do want the engine ready to be pulled today. We're not going to pull it today just because I remember it was easier with the second pair of hands. So I want everything to be hooked up to the hoist, and that way all I have to do is have a friend come over. We can wiggle it out of there. Teamwork. So let's get into it and we'll see where the day takes us. So we're going to remove all the intercooler piping, unplugging everything, labeling everything, and hopefully it'll go smoothly. So as you guys just saw, the bumper is off. It went a lot smoother. I think it took me like 20 minutes to get it done. For those of you that don't know, this is the Mazda Miata narrow variant bumper. I was looking for a bumper. I knew I wanted something different. My old one was beat, and the guys from Burstcraft reached out and I was lucky enough to pick it up. It is easily one of the favorite pieces. It's out. Now we can focus on pulling the engine. We're now on day 2 of attempting to pull this engine. I didn't finish last time like I had planned just because I didn't want to get under the car. I didn't want to get completely filthy, but today we are embracing the filth and we are getting under there. It's also taking longer than I expected just because filming does take a lot of time, which I never really knew. And so we are trying to do things right too. I have a whole bag of parts over there that I have a label maker that I'm actually labeling where everything goes, versus usually I'm just like, just toss it here. I remember I put this one screw there and that's what it means. So we're trying to be smart about this. So everything's pretty much unhooked. I drained the transmission and this is what my plug looked like. So there is a bunch of metal shavings on it. I'm not too sure if that's normal or not. Transmission was running fine. This is a little concerning. I'm definitely gonna reach out to some of the more experienced Miata people on Instagram and see what they say. Luckily it is a 5-speed, so if I need to get a new one, it's not that big of a deal, but I would rather not. And so 100% the engine will be pulled this weekend. I'll have another set of hands. It's just easier in my opinion. Someone could be under the car if they need to be, just to angle it out. Once the engine is out, then I can start going into what we're gonna upgrade, the changes we're gonna make. Like I said, I'm not gonna build the engine or do any internal parts just because of the short nose crank, but we will be doing certain maintenance things. I know there's leaking in certain places, that will fine. And then I wanna clean up the lines as well, upgrade to AN fittings. So that is enough for today. The next clip will be jumping into the engine pull. The engine is finally out. I did not want to work on the car at all today, but I told myself I'd get it done by Sunday. So here I am. The engine's out. We can start to focus on cleaning up this engine bay. And look at all this room for activities we got. So first things first, I need to clean everything up. I got the large rat's nest full of wires back there that I need to take care of. I am going to delete this brake booster because it's leaking anyway, and I want to go with manual brakes. Feel free to roast me. I need to teach myself how to weld because I do want to shave and clean up this engine bay, all these holes that are not used. And so once everything's all cleaned up and shaved, and hopefully it doesn't look too bad with my new welding skills, I'll be able to paint the bay and finally have it how I want it, how I should have did it the first time that I pulled the engine. We have a lot of work ahead. And of course, the real reason we pulled it is because we want to sort out the leaks. I have a lot of little leaks everywhere that turned into big leaks. So we're going to take care of that, make sure this engine's ready to go, because once I put it back in the car, I want to be able to drive it and not have to worry about it. Also leads me into my next dilemma. I need to decide if I want to stick with this short nose crank 1.6 or upgrade it to a long nose crank. I definitely want to stay with the 1.6 just because all of my turbo parts are for the 1.6 and I don't really want to replace it. We really need to figure that out before I order any more parts. I also know that a lot of you guys will just tell me, just upgrade to the 1.8, bro. It's way better. But I want to stick with the 1.6. Once we get the engine back in the car, this will be the last time that I pull this engine for any reason other than to upgrade to a different engine. I've always said that once this engine blows, I want to upgrade to a K-swap. Hopefully this engine will last me, a good 1 or 2 years of driving it hard at events. I don't want to rush a case swap. I want to do a lot more research, but that's way further down the line. Like I said, hopefully a year and a half, 2 years before we even start to plan that. That is where we sit with this car. So the next updates will be the engine bay cleaning up, sorting out what we're going to do if we're going to keep this 1.6 or upgrade. Also, I need to do all the bushings and the rear suspension parts, upgrade the diff as well, which we'll get into later. Now the fun begins. That's what my life's going to be for these next couple weeks. So thank you guys again for watching. I appreciate you guys. Like the video, comment if you have any advice for the 1.6 dilemma that I'm currently sorting out this week. I'd love to hear it, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well as following me on Instagram. We will see you next week in the next one. Thank you guys.